Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shot from the Chicago camp, coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. And I saw this interesting video segment on True News. It says flu frenzy, panic buying empties Asian store shelves. Now, this whole segment is just over an hour and a half, so I'm not going to play the whole thing. But there are a couple of minutes in this video that's very interesting to see. And once I play this, you'll see why I say it's a beautiful thing, because right now with this coronavirus, the Lord is bringing heavy judgment on the children of Ammon and Moab, all right, who we call the so-called Chinese and Japanese today, all right. And the reason why we know that they are the Chinese and Japanese are Ammon and Moab, all you have to do is read the story of Lot and look up the characteristics of incest, retardation, and Down syndrome, okay? And you will see that those characteristics fit them to a T. But this video is not about that. It's, as I said before, it's how the Lord is just bringing a beautiful judgment upon these nation of people, because for many, many years since the beginning, these folks have been living deliciously off the backs of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and then turn around and then treat them like shit. So I'm going to play this video and then get some scriptures, and we'll close it on out. Once again, hopefully this is a edifying lesson. So let's get this thing going.
Coronavirus is already impacting the global economy. U.S. stock prices fell on Friday as investors are starting to worry about the steep decline in economic activity in China. Oil and natural gas prices fell today as demand falls off. In China alone, orders for jet fuel dropped by 25% this week. The cruise ship industry is also bracing for a financial hurricane caused by the coronavirus outbreak. One major cruise company will not permit any passengers to board its ships who visited certain Asian locations. Royal Caribbean Cruises issued a statement on Friday saying that any guest or crewman traveling from, to, or through mainland China, Hong Kong, or Macau less than 15 days prior to their sailing will be unable to board any Royal Caribbean cruise ship. In Yokohama, Japan, thousands of passengers are stranded on a cruise ship because of an outbreak of coronavirus among the passengers. They're confined to their cabins and only permitted on deck briefly for fresh air. Dozens more people on board the cruise ship tested positive on Friday for the virus. The infection toll among passengers is now 61. We have this report from Reuters.
There's been a sharp rise in the number of coronavirus cases on the cruise ship docked off Japan, where around 3,700 people remain confined to their cabins. Japanese officials say that 61 people have now tested positive for the disease on the quarantine ship, a steep increase from the 20 confirmed cases on Thursday. People were seen exercising on the balconies of their rooms, while others stood locked outside, including one woman who put up a Japanese flag reading "Shortage of Medicine." Passengers have been confined to their cabins on board the Diamond Princess ship for days as part of a 2-week quarantine after an 80-year-old man who disembarked in Hong Kong was diagnosed with the virus. Philip and Gay Corter are currently on board.
We've got to get off this ship. It's, I could do 2 weeks in this nice cabin with the balcony.
We're certainly prepared to do the 14 days if it's safe to do 14 days, but I don't think it's even safe to be here for that length of time now, unfortunately.
Meals have been irregular, and passengers have noted their concern on Twitter about crew members delivering meals from cabin to cabin. Infected passengers take the total number of coronavirus infections in Japan to more than 80. Meanwhile, another ship, operated by Dream Cruises, with 3,600 people on board, remains stranded in Hong Kong after being denied entry by Taiwan, which has moved to ban all international cruise ships from docking on the island. And the Royal Caribbean Anthem of the Seas cruise ship docked in New Jersey early Friday, carrying dozens of passengers who are being screened for signs of the virus.
Well, has the global economy already caught the flu? Doc Burkhardt and Edward Zoll have been following the economic impact, and they're here to share with you and me what they have found. Gentlemen, I would not want to be trapped on a cruise ship right now, locked in a cabin.
I mean, if you look at this, if they're not going to allow them to book the cruises to leave their respective countries, this is, in a sense, a travel ban.
So China is being isolated. The whole country of China, along with Hong Kong and Macau, are being isolated from the world.
Right, and they just shut off another major city in China today, Guangzhou. It's 13.3 million people in that metropolitan area, completely cut off, just like Wuhan now.
Hey, there's so much good stuff in this video, I couldn't even begin to play it. But when you watch it, it goes on to talk about how there's new cities in Japan and China that are now being quarantined. And now that you have violence among the Moabites and Ammonites, because these folks don't know when they'll be able to come back outside to be able to get some food. So you have a huge rush and a panic to get to all these stores to get food and supplies and medicine. And these stores, as we say a lot of time in our videos, many of these stores, it doesn't matter where you're at in the entire world, at most they have about 3 days worth of items, or should I say 3 days worth of inventory in their store. And after 3 days, things start to become scarce. So they also show videos of people in stores where it's almost nothing in there. You got folks fighting, yelling, screaming. They went on to also talk about how you have many businesses in China and Japan that are soon about to go bankrupt, and they're going to have to close because everybody is either quarantined by the military and medical personnel, or you have people that are self-quarantining themselves, meaning that they're not trying to go outside if they don't have to. If it's not for work or maybe going to the store, they're not doing anything. And they said all these businesses are suffering from clothing to food to movie theaters, gas prices. Everything is hurting, you know, over in these countries. And as I said before, I was looking at this and I just praised Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, because this is a beautiful thing. This is a magnificent judgment that only the Lord could put on the offspring of these incest Down syndrome babies. Okay, right now, I believe Dabu7, he did a video saying that there's 400 million people in China right now on quarantine. That's more people. There's more people that are in quarantine than there is the entire population of the United States. And 400 million people is almost 50% of the entire Chinese populace. I believe most statistics say that the population in China is roughly around 1 billion. Could be a little less, could be a little more, but they usually say it's around 1 billion people. So damn near half the entire populace in China is on quarantine, on medical and military lockdown. And these precautions are also taking place in the other so-called Asian countries. And it's a beautiful thing, man, because hey, the judgment for The judgment for these people has been long overdue. Why? Because they're prideful. All right. They come from another country, don't speak a fucking lick of English. All right. They get contracts, they get business permits, they get loans. All right. They set up shop. They're able to set up shop in their own neighborhoods. They're able to set up shop in our neighborhoods. All right. Do your nails while they call you a nigger and a thug and a hood rat. All right. They set up the Chinese stores in your community thinking the same thing. Niggers, hood rats, thugs, criminals. All right. Serving you cat, rat, and dog. Making hand over fist at your expense. And now the Lord said enough is enough. And it's a beautiful thing. That's why, let's get some scripture and we're closing on out. Because I know I done said a lot and it's been 10 minutes in. So we're going to go to Jeremiah, the 48th chapter. And I'm kind of skip around in this because it's very lengthy. But, hey, the Lord's about to go in on Moab. It's Jeremiah 48, starting at the first chapter. And it says, against Moab, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the power of Israel. Woe unto Nebo, for it is spoiled. Kiriathaim is confounded and taken. Misgab is confounded and dismayed. There shall be no more praise of Moab. And Heshbon, they have devised evil against it. Come and let us cut it off from being a nation. Also thou shalt be cut down, O madman. The sword shall pursue thee. Okay, it says, a voice of crying shall be from Horonaim, spoiling and a great destruction. Moab is destroyed. Her little ones have caused a cry to be heard. Okay, for in the going up of Luith, continual weeping shall go up. For in the going down of Horonaim, the enemies have heard a cry of destruction. All right. And how is the Lord punishing the people of Moab? With this coronavirus. All right. You got family members dropping dead. All right. You have family members fighting each other. You have family members that can't see each other because everybody is taking every single precaution to make sure that they don't get infected with this disease. Okay. And it says, I'm going to skip down to verse 11 in Jeremiah, the 48th chapter. And it says, Moab hath been at ease from his youth, and he hath been settled on his lees. All right, because Moab has been prospering ever since the beginning. There's never been a time where the so-called Chinese people have really had some type of affliction, especially not the affliction that we're talking about as it concerns the Israelites. They haven't experienced nothing close to that. And as I said before, these folks come in from another country, can't speak a lick of English, but making money hand over fist. All right. And it says, and hath not been emptied from vessel to vessel, neither hath he gone into captivity. Therefore his taste remained in him, and his scent is not changed. It says, therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will send unto him wanderers that shall cause him to wonder, and shall empty his vessels and break their bottles. All right. And Moab shall be ashamed of Chemosh, as the house of Israel was ashamed of Bethel, their confidence. How say ye, we are mighty and strong men for the war? It says, Moab is spoiled and gone up out of her cities, and his chosen young men are gone down to the slaughter, saith the king, whose name is Yahweh of hosts. It says, the calamity of Moab is near to come, and his affliction hasteneth fast. All right. Because, hey, you got to remember all these Moabites, these so-called Chinese people. Not only are they getting afflicted with this coronavirus, but eventually them as well, they'll also be fighting in that great World War III, where it's just going to completely wipe a huge portion of them out. Their numbers are going to dwindle to nothing. All right. And the Lord as I said before, along with Moab, all right, he's going to render a recompense on Ammon as well for the same reason. All right, same reason. They come over here, don't speak a lick of English. Same thing, getting over on our people, all right, being able to send their children to college, all right, off of our hard-earned dollars. So we're going to go to Ezekiel 25, and then most likely we may close it out on this. And it says, the word of Yahweh came again unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against the Ammonites, the so-called Japanese, and prophesy against them, and say unto the Ammonites, hear the word of Yahweh power, thus saith Yahweh power, because thou saidest, Aha, against my sanctuary, when it was profaned, and against the land of Israel, when it was desolate, and against the house of Judah, when they went into captivity. All right, because you got to remember, these so-called Chinese and Japanese, they love them some bad Uncle Esau. All right, they love them some Esau all day long. Can't wait to be like him, dress like him, talk like him, eat like him, everything. All right, they have as big as they have their portion in helping to oppress us is almost as close as it is to bad Uncle Esau. And all you have to do is read Psalm the 83rd chapter for that. All right. And it says, against the land of Israel when it was desolate, and against the house of Judah when they went into captivity. All right. Aren't they doing that today? We're in captivity. All right. They're alongside with bad Uncle Esau. All right. Making new real estate deals and big businesses, expanding their territories within the United States and overseas, at the same time kicking people out. Hey man, they're like, as they say, 2 peas or 3 peas in a pod. All right. It says, behold, therefore I will deliver thee to the men of the east for a possession, and they shall set their places in thee and make their dwellings in thee. They shall eat thy fruit, and they shall drink thy milk. All right, I'm skip down to 6. And it says, for thus saith Yahweh power, because thou hast clapped thy hands and stamped with the feet, and rejoiced in heart with all thy despite against the land of Israel. Behold, therefore I will stretch out my hand upon thee, and I will deliver thee for a spoil to the heathen. And how is the Lord doing that? This coronavirus. It's a beautiful thing. This coronavirus is affecting every single aspect of human life, okay? From jobs to economics to politics to sex, housing, health, you name it, it's being affected. And it says, and I will cut thee off from the people. Didn't they say in the news article? All right, this plague is so bad that basically now China and Japan, these places are starting to be isolated. All right, they're being cut off from the rest of the world because they're like, we don't want that shit over here. All right, you stay over there where you're at, and we'll stay over here. You all can just do your own thing. We'll do our own thing. And it says, and I will cause thee to perish out of the countries. I will destroy thee, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. And we skip to 8. It says, thus saith Yahweh power, because that Moab and Seir do say, behold, the house of Judah is like unto all the heathen. And that's why I was going into. This is beautiful. That's what I was saying earlier. All right. These folks are heavily in league with bad Uncle Esau. Because you have to remember, Esau, Edom, all right, his territory is Seir, Mount Seir. All right. And it says, behold, the house of Judah is like unto all the heathen, meaning that finally, all right, you niggas are in a place where we feel you belong, at the bottom, suffering, struggling, striving, half the time barely being able to get by. And it says, therefore, behold, I will open the side of Moab from the cities, from his cities, which are on his frontiers, the glory of the country, Beth Eshemoth, Baal-meon, and Kiriathaim, and to the men of the east with the Ammonites, and will give them in possession, that the Ammonites may not be remembered among the nations. All right, the Lord is breaking all these cities down. Hong Kong, Guangzhou, Wuhan, Shanghai, all these great cities in the country of China and Japan, they're being completely broken down and systematically destroyed through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, we're at a time in human history where the Lord is not making his elect ashamed anymore. All right, the Lord is hearing our prayers and our cries for vengeance and revenge upon our enemies. And boy, is he delivering. So let's continue. And it says, and I will execute judgments upon Moab, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. So, hey, this thing is just getting started. This thing with the coronavirus is just getting started, because folks are still calm right now. Folks are still able to get attention. Folks are still somewhat able to get food and supplies and things like that. But what's going to happen in, let's say, August, all right, when all these businesses shut down, when they can't go anywhere, where there's no food, there's no medicine, there'll probably be no more EMS. Man, all hell is going to break loose over there. And it's going to get ugly. And quite frankly, me personally, I can't wait to see it, because their ass whooping has been a long time coming. So hopefully you all were edified. Once again, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle elders, the great millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. With that, we're going to say shalom.